Welcome back to another farming simulator review where I basically answer questions you weren't smart enough to ask. So, in my previous video, you saw me review Cuban military vehicles that shouldn't have been put where they were because somebody did a half-assed job basically trying to glorify not fuck military. That's basically a clone of the Soviet Union because that's literally how the fuck they became what they are now. Oh my god, please don't make me fucking arguing with me. You will lose just by participating in the argument. Now, these are not military Humvees. They are Hummer H1s. We are in Europe. One of the default maps. So, instead of having a metal roof on these fuckers, like what they come with in real life, I promise you, I know this from experience. You just get a tarp pulled over it. The game calls it a leather roofing, is what they call it. So, you could put a cargo rack on this bitch. Get some really good responsiveness. Have me ram into some shit. I'm gonna go ahead and be a fucking yank asshole real quick, and I'm gonna fuck this crop up as hard as I can to show you that I can drive through it. Also, when you press the button to switch cameras, see how the inside of this thing, so with the exception of the placement for keys, this is basically the shifter and the parking brake are very much where it would be in a military vehicle. One of the main differences is right there you would have a big ass mount. You wouldn't even have that shit. They would not attempt to make it so where you can see behind yourself. Because with tactical vehicles, you always have 2 or 3 people. So someone can always get out and look behind your shit for you. So you don't need to, that mirror there is for the guy sitting in that seat to tell you that you're clear to do that. Except I wasn't because I'm in a cornfield. And then you can kind of look over there, but the one I drove was so armored up, you had that. And that was a smaller window than it is. And then you had a lot of shit you could hit your head on. You had a heavy-ass armored door and shit like that. But ultimately, though, this is still a somewhat pleasant thing to drive. You have the symbols on here that tell you it's an H1 in case you forgot ever since you started driving it. These are the design of the suspension and the drivetrain and its off-road capabilities when it's not being armored down for dumb shit. These are actually useful if you're putting them to their use. It's just I haven't bothered to modify this map with the sculpting tools yet to give myself a little testing track to drive around on. These are the I can't go flat fancy tires that rich people pay extra to have. So we're gonna go ahead and fucking drive around this thing like a fucking idiot. Farming simulators driving physics, if you're driving with a keyboard, are a little fucky-wucky, but it's not even that goddamn bad. And I'm not as familiar with this map, so forgive me if I missed out on some good opportunities to drive stupid and do dumb shit to show off how capable these vehicles are. But ultimately, this is a pretty well made mod. From the same place I got that other mod that wasn't well made, this is pretty fucking good. So the next thing we need to test though is whether or not I can do shit with this. I've got these motherfuckers loaded down. I found a pallet of some heavy shit to put in the little compartment here that basically looks like the size of one of these pallets of solid fertilizer. I took some pallets of seeds and I loaded them up on trailers. This one here, I basically loaded it over the axles like you're fucking supposed to, or at least my understanding of what you're fucking supposed to. This one, I just put it where it would fit because it's a little tiny bitch trailer. And we're gonna drive around and see how well they handle their shit. I know you can't tell, but this is tied the fuck down. Which means it should basically, it's like magnetizing, but with a fucking, with an indicating animation. So as you see there, that did not bounce anything off my shit. Now, if this is a good model, they're going to have the same engine and transmission of an up-armored Humvee, but in something that weighs a lot less. So right here, I think the only obstacle is the trailer, not the vehicle being too much of a bitch for anything. As you can see, this is serving utilitarian purpose as it was originally designed. I mean, General Motors never intended this thing to be like on the line fighting. They intended it to be used for the same thing you used the Willys Jeep for, but a lot of motherfuckers forgot that the old Willys was also equipped with a machine gun, and people jumped out of them and fought. It's just how the fuck it went. So, this mod, I will put a link in the description, is actually not bad. It doesn't serve more utilitarian purpose than a normal truck, but it looks cool doing stupid shit like this.